Okay, I'm going to do a short video here. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. I just want to very quickly talk about Hollywood and politics. And the first thing I want to say is I do not believe in boycotting over opinions. Everybody in the world has different opinions. Alright, just boycotting over opinions, you'd have to literally boycott everyone. Even like your closest friend, if they own a business and they might have one different opinion from you. But the First Amendment guarantees the right to speak for everyone. It does not make an exception for celebrities or famous people. And by the way, I don't like to say movie stars. I think that's an outdated term. I say celebrity. But anyways, you know, if I'm talking about an actor, I'll say actor. If I'm talking about a musician, I'll say musician. But anyways, that's slightly off the point, I apologize, but they do have the right to their opinion just like you and I do. And I do not believe in telling them to shut up because that's a violation of their First Amendment right. And of course you'll say, well, we pay them to make movies or to sing. That's true, but if you have someone, for example, who's an auto mechanic, do they have to just talk about cars all the time? I mean, when they're out like hanging out with their friends, you know, at a bar or bowling or whatever, can't they talk about anything they want? So, you know, it just doesn't track. That would mean everybody can only talk about whatever their profession is. And what about children? They don't have a profession yet, except maybe school. But anyways, my problem with the celebrities and their opinions, it's not that they're given their opinions, again, they have that right, it's that they, especially the liberal celebrities, they think their fame gives them the right to shove their opinions down our throat. And no one has the right to do that, celebrity or otherwise. And it is wrong for them to be making threats. No one has the right to threaten anyone. And Bette Midler fairly recently praised the guy who assaulted Grandpa and I think broke a couple of his ribs. She's pretty much praising this guy, yay, good job, and that's just very wrong of her to do. And then you have Peter Fonda, who threatened to kidnap Barron Trump. That's clearly wrong. So no one has the right to threaten. No one, period. I don't care who you are. So I absolutely agree on that needs to be stopped. But just stating an opinion like, I don't like Donald Trump. As long as they're not threatening to hurt him, I don't care who they like and don't like. And some celebrities don't even like to give their political opinions, and I say good for those. I know Keanu Reeves usually doesn't like to talk politics. And I think some of them, like him, they get it. They understand, you know, some of the fans are going to like Trump, others are not going to like him. And so if they say one way or the other, they're going to probably lose half their fan base. So I say good on them on choosing to not give their political opinions. However, if Keanu changes his mind on that, he's got every right. And it won't change my opinion on him unless he starts making violent threats. Anyways, and what I'm going to say next, I know a lot of you are going to find it cuckoo and strange. But I didn't need this political stuff to show me that Hollywood is distant from real life. First of all, I don't use... I do believe celebrities know a little more about real life than what we give them for. They don't get everything for free because they're famous. Okay, they have to pay taxes and stuff like that, just like the rest of us. But the thing that's always bothered me about movies, TV, even video games, for some reason people who write these scripts and who direct them and produce them, and I blame them more than the actors are just following the script. For some reason they think we run around calling our friends by their last name. That's as unrealistic as you can get. You know, I've got the video game Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm sure you've seen the videos, but you hear them calling each other, you know, Morgan, Marston, Williamson, and I find myself just screaming, who does this? And I wonder if these people who write these scripts are chained up in a basement somewhere with no friends. I mean, your first name is personal. It's you. Your last name is pretty much government identification. I mean, obviously, okay, well, since I said Red Dead, I used the name Arthur as an example. Yes, you're not the only Arthur in the world. There's millions of Arthurs out there. But when your friends call you by your name, it's you. It's the name that your family gave you. It's not the last name the government shoved up your ass. So anyways, I was a big fan of Walker, Texas Ranger. You know, Chuck Norris is one of the few conservatives, and he hasn't lived in Hollywood in like 30 years. Good for him. He lives in Texas. Smart man. And personally, I think his career is washed up because Hollywood kicked him out. I don't believe he's just washed up. I mean, he's a conservative, and they don't like that. He doesn't want gun control, and Hollywood hates that. But anyways, Walker, Texas Ranger, for those of you who didn't see it, it was a TV series about a Texas Ranger named Cordell Walker. But most of his friends were calling him Walker, his last name. Now, I can understand on the job, but when they were like hanging out at CD's bar, it was, even his girlfriend was calling him Walker. I mean, that's been my proof for years that Hollywood is distant from the rest of us. Who calls their friend by their last name? Walker, Jones, Marston, Morgan. Who does that? I mean, your first name is you. It's personal. It identifies you as an individual. It's like the movie Changeling, and also in Red Dead Redemption, you got these two mothers that don't call their kids by their names. All through Red Dead Redemption, she just keeps saying, the boy. You know, that's distancing. You know, psychologically, she's pushing the kid away from her. The name brings them closer to you. What parent just calls their kid the boy or the girl? And then Changeling, my son, my son, my son, my son. She must have set a world record for saying my son throughout one movie. But that's been my proof for years and years and years and years that Hollywood is a little cuckoo. I mean, they brag, we're going to make this movie realistic. We're going to make this video game realistic. Well, let me tell you something. Red Dead Redemption, it would be more realistic for Arthur to be riding a unicorn than for them to be calling each other by their last name. No one does that. I mean, I know that's a strange thing to be concerned about, which I'm not really concerned about it. It's just, stop talking about realism and then having people calling each other by their last name like that. That's not real, Hollywood, okay? We don't call our friends by their last name. I've never called my boyfriend by his last name. So, I didn't need this political crap to tell me Hollywood's distant from real life. All I need is this last name BS I've been hearing my whole entire life. Marston, Morgan, Walker. Nobody does that, people. So, if it took this politics now to tell you Hollywood's cut off from the rest of us, then you haven't been paying attention. And then, of course, there's more than just the last name stuff, but that's the first thing that popped in my head. I mean, I'm not screaming for total realism in movies and stuff because it's entertainment. I mean, I love westerns, but a lot of these westerns, they really exaggerate the Wild West, and that's okay, it's entertainment. But I still hate the last name crap. Nobody calls their friends by their last name. But that's just my 2 cents. Once again, celebrities do have the right to their opinion. They do not have the right to shove it down our throat. They do not have the right to threaten people. I absolutely agree with that, and I think it's a shame that celebrities get away with things that you and I would never get away with, that you and I would go to jail for. If I said what Peter Fonda said, I'd likely be in jail right now. So, and again, I'm not trying to change your mind on boycotting. Y'all don't want to watch movies, whatever, don't. Just because I go see a movie, it does not mean I agree with that actor's political opinions. I'm just there to see a good movie. No, movies and video games and other forms of entertainment, they're supposed to kind of get us out of the real world for a short time, and just help us relax and relieve stress. Unfortunately, Hollywood seems to be forgetting that lately. That's one thing I like about Rockstar Games. They don't put too much politics in their stuff, except to mock it a little bit. Like on GTA 5, you see this thing called, I forgot the name of it, this little cult where they keep saying Kiflam. I can't remember the name of the cult. But it's kind of making fun of Scientology. So, they'll do that, but they don't usually go shoving politics down our throat. Let's see. I cannot remember the name of the cult right now. It's been so long since I've played this. Oh, there it is, the Epsilon program, that's it. But it's kind of a mockery of Scientology. So that they'll do, that I'm totally behind, it's funny as hell. But you know, they're not trying to push any political opinions down our throat. And that's one thing I've really liked about Rockstar for quite a while. I do not believe the addition of Sadie Adler on Red Dead was social justice warrior. There actually were some female gunfighters, outlaws, and even bounty hunters back then. There weren't a lot. Don't get in the comments and say, yeah, but there weren't that many. That's what I said, a few. I didn't say there were 50 billion of them. There were a few. So I don't think that's social justice warrior. I do think that's a little more historical accuracy. However, there's another video game, I don't know who made it, where you play as a Roman soldier, and it does spawn up female Roman soldiers. That did not happen. Okay, I love researching the Romans. I love researching history. I can't find any instances of female Roman soldiers. It half bothers me, half doesn't. If you want historical accuracy, you can't do that, but if you just want pure fun, go ahead, I don't care. But, I made this video too long, so I'm going to end it now, and of course, leave your comments, make fun of me, whatever. Just know I am not an easy person to insult. It takes a lot to insult me. And Hollywood, stop using the last name crap. We don't call our friends by their last name.